So happy Thursday. Thank you guys, everybody, for joining me today. Today is the day that I do what I call the webinar, and it is related to multifamily brokerage, referrals, and kind of how we tie that all up into our business. And, ideally, this is a good show or a good webinar for real estate agents and brokers, but investors as well, because it kind of gives them an idea of how we all work together as real estate agents. So I hope you can pull out some value out of this today and, share it with your people. And so we'll just get started. I will, just kind of quickly give you a background for myself. My name is Chris Matan, and I am a real estate agent. I got licensed, believe it or not, in 1994. So if you do that math, it's just about 27 years. And it's been a great ride, and it's been a lot of fun. A lot of changes happening in the business. I think we could probably all agree on, especially from those days. But why did I get into the business in the first place? It wasn't, it's not unlike a lot of people. I was 20 years old, so keep that in mind. I was pretty young when I started, and I wanted to do my own thing. I wanted to have my own business. I wanted to have my own freedom. We think that when we get into the real estate business, we can kind of set our schedule and have freedom, and that's kind of a two-edged sword, I suppose. But growing up, I saw some entrepreneurial things. My parents were business owners. My parents both came from another country without the language, without the, without an education, really without a network, outside of maybe other people within that community that came over. But so I saw at a very, very young age that work ethic and the kind of the path to business ownership. And I always kind of felt that, what better way to get into your own business as real estate. It's a fairly easy path to, to get licensed and whatnot. And, in addition to, seeing business owners at a young age, I saw a lot of real estate investment. My uncles and a lot of the people that came over, from other countries, they started, I started in the city of Chicago, right? So, there were a lot of janitors, and they started working in these buildings, and they were janitors, and they were showing apartments, and it could have been apartment buildings, or it could have been condo buildings where, they're basically cleaning the hallways and kind of working with vendors and stuff like that with the building and with the complex. But that was their kind of entry into the workforce. They didn't have an education, they didn't have a language, but they could work hard. And that was one of those things that, that was a job that you were able to get. And when they would go on vacation, I'd step in and do their work for them. So by doing that, again, at a very young age, I started to learn the operation of an apartment building. Now, these guys, when they started, obviously they're working for their wage, and then they get into the union and they do their thing, but they started to buy. And I don't know if that was just foresight on their part, or if they were taught that, or if they were just essentially buying themselves another job to get some more income for the family. But they started buying these buildings, and they were learning from the building owners, the previous generation of building owners, how all this stuff worked. And so they started accumulating, depending on the ambition of the guy. One guy might have one building and he's satisfied with his little 6-unit or something like that. But some of these guys really turned it into businesses, and they bought a building, then they refinanced and they bought another building, or whatever all that looked like. In fact, I knew guys in Chicago that had families that lived in the building, in the condo building, in the janitor's apartment for free. They were living in that building, maintaining the building. The husband was, say, the janitor, the maintenance guy, and then the wife was doing some of the cleaning. And then on the side, they would buy these other buildings. I know a guy that owned maybe 200 or 300 apartments still while living in that janitor's apartment with his family, cleaning the condo building. So obviously he didn't need to do that, but he did that, and that was their thing. So they were buying these buildings, and we all know where real estate has gone over the last. It's just historically where real estate goes from a value standpoint. The rents go up, the values go up, and that's kind of the beauty of multifamily. Multifamily, as far as all of the commercial real estate goes, if we're going to call it commercial real estate, investment real estate, it's probably the safest. It's the most hands-on. But generally speaking, it's probably the most safest. You could get better financing on it. You can, you can really, to a degree, you can control your occupancies with the rent because everybody needs a place to live. So that's never going away. That's not going remote, if you will. But so anyway, they saw that as another job, or it turned into an investment, and they all became very, very wealthy. And I saw this growing up, and I saw the work ethic. I saw the building, the investments in the buildings. My dad did it. My uncles, my, other people in my network. So I figured, okay, that's kind of what I'm going to do. I'm going to go out and get my real estate license, and then I'm going to go sell some real estate, buy some buildings, and, live happily ever after. So I got my real estate license, and you sit down with your managing broker or your sales manager or whoever it is, and you come up with a plan, right? And what's your plan? I didn't realize it at the time, but I had a business plan. And my business plan was exactly that. I would go out and I'd sell some buildings, or I'd sell some houses, make some commissions, buy a building, do it over again, rinse, lather, repeat, lather, rinse, repeat, whatever. And that kind of went on when I was very, very young. And what I figured out was that by investing in that real estate, I enjoyed selling that real estate. So I kind of created a little bit of a niche for me, probably without even realizing I was doing it. And another reason why I really liked the niche of multifamily was because the conversations that you can have with multifamily owners is a very easy conversation from a prospecting standpoint. Who of us loves prospecting? Nobody likes to prospect. But if that conversation can be easy, maybe you're more willing to do it. And, back in the mid 90s, there wasn't lead generation or online leads or any of this kind of stuff. You pretty much had to, open up the newspaper, get on the phone, look at the tax records, microfiche, and all this stuff. Some of you might have remembered those days. And so I'd just get on the phone and I'd call these people. I'd look for an obscured phone number in the newspaper for rent ad. And that's the number what I would call. And chances are that's the owner of the property. Maybe it might be the janitor, but most likely a lot of those guys back then, these were a lot of owner operators that were handling their own leasing and their own management and whatnot. So I'd call and I'd simply ask them if they are looking to buy, I'd confirm that whether they're the owner or not. But then I just asked them if they wanted to buy any other building, any new buildings. And inevitably, they all said the same thing. What do you got? I'm always looking for a deal. What do you got? I'm always looking for a deal. So, and another thing I figured out was that these guys like to brag. They like to brag about what they got. So you could have pretty solid conversations with these guys about their properties and their war stories, and they're patting themselves on the back and all this stuff. So you build a relationship really, really easily that way. And I was very good at that. I was very good at just getting on the phone and talking to people about what they have and maybe about what they want. And, while I'm making these calls, it wasn't so buyer heavy then. It was kind of more balanced. So, the calls that I was making, I could be talking to a buyer or a seller. And it was a lot easier to put those two together instead of today, everybody you talk to is a buyer. It's a little harder. But anyway, so you start building up those conversations. And, one success story that I like to share that actually I still share to this day, I'm going to tell you the story now, but it's one of the things that really keeps my nose clean, if you will. It keeps me on track. It really makes me understand why we're in this business and the potential that we all have simply with the telephone. And so I sat down and I was making some calls, and I called a guy out of the newspaper, didn't have his name or anything. And I picked up the phone. I said, hey, you know what? Do you own that building? You want to sell? You looking to buy anything else? Inevitably, yeah, I'm always looking. I'm looking for a deal. What do you got? So I set the appointment to meet with him. He invited me to his place of business, and that's what we do, right? That's what we taught. Get on the phone, build rapport, set the appointment, go to the meeting, right? So that's exactly what I did. I got there, got to the meeting, I opened up. He had a body shop at the time. I think he still operates. This is in Chicago. He's got a body shop. So I walk in, and before I even have the chance to introduce myself, he stops me and he says, "You're Chris. My dad knows you." He says, "Do whatever you say." Now, mind you, I'm probably 24 years old at the time, And, when somebody tells you that as a 22, 24-year-old kid, you're feeling kind of good. You got a little street credibility, right? So I walk in and we kind of figure, he tells me who his dad is. And yeah, I know his dad, whatever. And so the dad says, do whatever you say. And so what that comment is going to lead to the second part of this presentation, as far as how referrals go and where referrals come from and how do you get them. This was, in fact, obviously it was a cold call, right? And I got the appointment, I got there, but in fact, it was a referral as well, because if we didn't put all those pieces together, the old man wouldn't have told the son to work with me and so on. So that's a referral, right? I'd consider that a referral, and at least it's credibility. And so we sat down and, we kind of talked about what he was looking for and what he's trying to do. To make a long story short, and again, this is like 1995 or so. This is when contracts were carbon copies. I don't know if any of you remember those days, but they were carbon copy contracts. So I would bring about 8 or 10 contracts to his shop. He'd sign the bottom of them. Don't tell anybody, but he would sign all the bottom of them, leave them blank. And I'd go out and I'd buy buildings. And we bought 6 buildings that way over 18 months. So obviously that phone call turned out to be extremely lucrative for me. And it was a lesson. It was a very strong lesson that I still think about every single day. I think about it today. I'm sharing it with you today because it was so powerful to me. And what did I learn on the phone call? Obviously, to make the call, right, is crucial. You just got to kind of get off your bottom and make the calls. But by calling a multifamily owner, what you have is the opportunity to sell more than one property to the same person. And that's the difference when you're dealing a little bit maybe with commercial real estate compared to residential real estate. And that was kind of the light bulb moment for me to see, okay, how can I leverage this? How can I leverage my niche a little bit better and, be more productive, more effective, more efficient, and make more money? I mean, we are in the business to make money, I suppose. So by talking to those guys, they do more than one deal. Sometimes it's more than one deal in a year. Sometimes it's more than one deal in 2 years, 5 years, a lifetime, whatever. But chances are, if they're in that business, they're turning, they're buying, they're selling, they're flipping, they're this, they're that, whatever. They're business people. And, those are the people that I tend to, from a very young age. And that's why I do that today, is I tend to attract and kind of relate to business people. I have another business. You see it up here, machine show. So some of you know that, some of you don't. That's another conversation. But anyway, so that was one of the things that I learned. So the things that I learned, sorry if I'm going to be jumping around here, but I want to keep this as conversational as possible. So you learn that the conversations are easy, so the prospecting becomes a little easier. You learn that one phone call or one client can turn into multiple transactions very, very quickly, right? You learn that. Then what I also learned is that, and, I suppose this could be with any kind of class, especially, if you're dealing with multifamily or maybe office or industrial or whatever, but there's kind of a small pool of people, especially when you get into the bigger stuff. There's the same players and you start talking to the same people, and the same people always surface. The same brokers always surface, the same investors always surface. And when you get into that kind of clique and that community and you become known, that gives you a lot of credibility. And that is, a piece that you can really start to brand for yourself. And that's where I'm going to kind of switch gears and talk about referrals. And referrals, another piece of this multifamily niche or this investor niche is that the investor, the multifamily owner, they are a business person, right? A lot of them own other businesses outside of the apartment building or the commercial property or whatever it is. Maybe the business that they own is in the building that they own. Also, they've got all kind. They could have anything. They could have a body shop. They could have a dry cleaner. They could have some other kind of service operation, or even an accountant or whatever that looks like. They're business people, and what do business people do? They seek referrals for their own business. So they naturally want to refer business because it's kind of like the cadence of business. And when you can deliver value to those investors and those multifamily property owners or commercial property owners, when you could deliver that value, they're going to want to refer you. They're going to want to take care of you. You know, real estate investments, it's, you know, it's business. It could get competitive. It can get cutthroat. It can get ruthless, you know, depending on who you're dealing with. But there is an underlying loyalty that I found over the years that business people have, and they want to take care of them. They want to take care of the people that take care of them, because it's kind of an abundance mindset. And I think the best business people really do have an abundance mindset. So in my view, there are two ways to get referrals. The first way to get referral is kind of what I said. You got to deliver exceptional value and exceptional service to your client. Now, how do you do that? There's a number of ways to do that. You communicate, you bring them what they want. You just do the deal. You just get it done. It's what it comes down to. You get it done quickly, efficiently, you get them the most money for their property, or you get the building for the cheapest price they try to buy, whatever all that looks like, but you deliver exceptional value. The second way to get a referral is you just have to ask. It sounds stupid and simple, but that's exactly what it is. It's simple. You talk to your people, you talk to your clients, your past clients, your current clients, your sphere of influence, whoever all these people are that you associate with, you are going to be asking for business. And you'd be surprised once you start asking for business and kind of make it a habit and a routine, not to be obnoxious about it, but to let people know that you are a resource out there for a particular thing, you know, and if it happens to be real estate, great. This is a real estate show. That's what we're talking about. You let your people know, and you're going to get a referral. And then when you deliver exceptional value to those people, they're going to refer you out, and so on and so on. The cycle kind of continues. So in the real estate space, I believe there are three referral sources. So the first one we've kind of touched on, it's kind of like your people, your centers of influence, your circle of influence, your clients, past clients, you know, whoever, the people that you know, people that you've done business with are going to refer you to their friends and family. That's a pretty simple way to get a referral, right? And again, you're going to go back, you're going to ask, and you're going to deliver service and value and all that kind of stuff. That's number one. Number two, source of referral is between agents in the marketplace, maybe even agents outside of the marketplace, which is a very, real estate's become global now. It's not as local as it used to be. It's always going to be local, but it's pretty global now. And this kind of goes back to the multifamily or the niche. There's a number of niches that you can do in real estate. You could multifamily, office, a particular subdivision, you farm an area, a condo building, for example. Those are all niches. And when you become an expert in that niche, if you could figure out a way to become an expert in that niche, you can brand yourself as that expert in the niche. And you not only want to brand yourself and market to the general public, you want to market to your peers in the business, the other agents in the marketplace. Because another way to really truly deliver exceptional value to your client is to turn down, you're going to think I'm nuts, but you're going to turn down business and refer it to somebody else who's an expert in that space, if you're not an expert in that space, or if you're not comfortable. Because I can't tell you how many people call me, how many agents and stuff like that, they call me because they don't want to touch multifamily, but they'll call me because they know that I'm familiar with it, and I'll be able to take good care of their clients. So that agent, what they're doing is they're doing their client a favor by referring the business over to me, so that they know that they're going to get taken care of really, really well. And that's the piece of value that you're going to be delivering. So when you become that expert in the marketplace and you become known for a specific niche, you'd be surprised how much extra business you can get from other agents. And the overlooked part of this referral source is the positioning of it. I think this is really, really important. When you have a client and they want to buy a piece of land in another state, right? Obviously, you're not going to service that yourself because you're not familiar and you're just not the best qualified to do that. So what do you want to do? You want to say, oh, I know somebody in California, they're going to help you out. He's a friend of mine. No, you don't want to say that. You want to say, that I have a business partner that I'm going to refer you to out in California who specializes in land. He does a phenomenal job. He's going to do, he's going to take exceptional care of you. And let me make that introduction for you. I'll have him reach out to you or her or whatever all that looks like. The key part of that is that that is a business partner of yours. It's not just another agent that you know. It is your business partner. If you position it that way, it builds credibility for the other agent. And all of a sudden your client now really feels like now they got two people, they got business people, they got two business partners that are working for them. And that relationship now between the two agents, when it's a business, you know, it's a business relationship. If you're going to get a referral fee and you get money and, you know, all that exchange, that's a business relationship. But when you position it as a partnership, as a business partnership, all of a sudden it goes, I believe it goes to another level. It goes to another level of maybe obligation and dedication and duty to really deliver value and really kind of come through for your partner. You're much more likely to come through for your business partner than you are for some strange realtor that called you out of the blue that you know, wants to give you a referral for 25%, right? So I believe that that's an important part, and it all of a sudden really makes that transaction or that like kind of business dealing a little bit more on a professional level. So use that, use the business partner lingo. It's going to help you. And the third source of referral is referring an agent to your company, right? So your company, depending who they are, regardless of who they are, you do deals with people in the marketplace. You have friends, other real estate agent, real estate broker friends. You want to introduce your company, your agent or that agent to your company. Maybe they want to work there for a variety of reasons. Maybe you, maybe your broker has a plan or has a program in place that compensates you for that, right? Maybe somebody out there that you're doing a deal with isn't happy, or they're looking to make a change anyway. You want to be able to have that opportunity to introduce the business model under the brokerage that you're working for, right? The key part of that is you want to be compensated for it. You want to be compensated for it appropriately, properly, right? There's some brokerages out there that put a high value on that. There's some brokerage out there that don't put any value on that at all. Now, you know, right, wrong, indifferent, I suppose it doesn't really matter. But if there was a reason, you know, a financial alignment there for you to capitalize on that referral, why wouldn't you do it? And it kind of goes back to, I'm going to kind of jump a little bit. I'm going to go back to investment real estate and buying investment real estate. A lot of us realtors, real estate professionals, we buy investment real estate in addition to selling real estate, right? And why do we do that? We do it for two reasons. We do it to build wealth. We do it for three reasons. We do it to build wealth. We do it hopefully for cash flow, and we do it for a tax write-off or a tax benefit, right? There's a tax strategy there. So those are the reasons why we buy multifamily investment real estate, we'll call it. So I apologize. I wanted to make sure that that was out there because I want that in your brain when I start pivoting here. Normally what I do on these webinars is I'll share my screen, and I'm going to share a video with you, kind of tying this together, tying this referral and investment real estate all together and how it applies to EXP Realty. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to kind of keep this, I'm going to kind of continue to keep this conversational. And I just want to point out two pieces of the reason why aligning with EXP Realty or EXP Commercial, it's essentially the same company, but EXP Realty is how it ties in with your real estate investment and your sales business. Now listen, everybody, all the brokers out there, all the companies out there, the Century 21s, the KWs, the Caldwell Bankers, the Compasses, all that, all of them, EXPs. We all have great support. We all have tech. We all have training. We all have competitive splits and caps and whatnot and all this kind of stuff. And but what are all those things? Those are all commodities. Everybody offers the same shit when it comes down to it. And somebody's split might be a little higher, might be a lower, might have a cap, might not have a cap. We got these leads, we got this website, we got all this stuff. It all doesn't matter. It all doesn't matter. A successful real estate agent can work anywhere so long as they have the right mindset and do it, right? It can work anywhere. What sets EXP apart, in my opinion, is two things. And it's going to go back to the real estate investment piece. We invest in real estate for creating wealth and cash flow. So what does EXP Realty and EXP Commercial offer? It offers ownership, it offers equity, and it offers an opportunity to build wealth. It offers referral fees when you bring an agent into the company, introduce an agent into the company. Those referral fees are cash flow, right? So you've got building wealth and you've got cash flow. You've got your sales business also. Everybody's got your sale. You got your sales business. You're going out there, you're making your deals, you're earning your commissions. You happen to be doing it under the EXP Realty or EXP Commercial flag, we'll call it. That's the company that's brokering the deals for you. But when it comes down to it, by doing those deals and earning those commissions and doing your regular daily business activities, you're allowed these two extra pieces that you're already doing over here. So I call this the three-headed monster. Are you ready for this? So you got your three-headed monster. You've got, number one, you got your sales business and you're earning your commissions. Number two, over here, you got your real estate investments. You're creating wealth. You're hopefully cash flowing on those investments. You've got a tax strategy, a tax write-off with those investments. And then over here, you've got another form of the number two is really the number three over here. By aligning with EXP Realty, you have ownership in the company. So you're creating wealth, you've got equity, you're creating wealth. And then the referral source of agents, agent referrals and referral fees, you've got cash flow. So you've got two things that are creating wealth and offering cash flow to support your number one, your sales business right here. Now, what EXP figured out is that and why are people moving to EXP? Why are top producers, high-level top producers moving to EXP? It's because they figured out how to financially align all of the agents that allows them to collaborate and share freely, because as they share and as they grow and everybody else grows, the company grows, right? So you're creating wealth under the ownership and under the equity piece of EXP Realty by sharing and collaborating. And that's what's missing in the business. The business is very competitive. When you sit next, you got your person over here you're sitting next to, they wave the same flag as you do, but they're a competitor. They've got no financial incentive to help you, right? Where EXP, every agent, 69,000 strong across the globe, each one of them has a financial interest in helping the other one. And the top level people are masterminding with each other. You know, those top level people, if you're a top level person at another company, are you going to another top level person within that company to kind of collaborate? Probably not, because you're in competition. Or over here, you're not. So anyway, the point of the whole thing is how referrals and your niche can really tie in to your real estate business and how it could affect the company that you decide to align with. So again, the three-headed monster, you've got your sales business, you've got your real estate investments, and then you've got your brokerage, which if it's EXP Realty, you're creating wealth through equity and ownership and referral fees, cash flow through agent referral fees. So it's really a very well-rounded strategy and business model that a lot of us are already doing. A lot of us. I can see the people that are on this call right now. I know each and every one of you own real estate. I know that, and including myself. And we all own real estate for a reason. Maybe some of the reasons are different than others, but the underlying reason is to create wealth and generate cash flow and probably have a tax write-off, because as 1099 and as 1099 independent contractors, realtors, we need that write-off. That write-off is critical. So that's why I do it. That's why you guys do it. But the alignment over here with the brokerage is, could be a very critical piece to bringing that wheel all together. So anyway, I hope that, where are we at here? It's about 30 minutes, so not bad. Does anybody have any questions? I do have a few of you up here. If you wanted to, go into the chat and ask a question, you're very welcome to. If not, that is no problem also. If you're interested, I can share my multifamily scripts with you that, just shoot me a message or a text or something, or find me on Facebook, or you can on YouTube, and I'll send you those scripts, no problem. They're very, very easy to run, easy to read, easy to master, and they generate great conversations. And that's what it's all about. So anyway, listen, thank you guys all for joining me today. I think this was one of my better shows. This is week 11, I believe. And this will be recorded. I'll share the recording with you, and you could share with your people along the way as well. Till then, have a great day, everybody.